So that's a wrap for Mo and me and Vin, and we'll see you again tomorrow. First pitch at 7:10 from Dodger Stadium. Esteban Loaiza, Franklin Morales, the pitchers. Dodger Talk getting underway now with Bob Harvey. Bob?
All right, thank you, Charlie. And Dodger fans, your turn. You want to rant, you want to rave, you want to make suggestions. Now's the time to do it. 866-933-9898. 866-933-9898. Singular wireless users, pound 980 Singular, the new AT&T, your world delivered. Dodgers have lost 9 of their last 10. They haven't gone into a slump. They have slidden all the way off the road. The Colorado Rockies, meanwhile, 10-game winning streak, best in franchise history. Going to break it all down here with A. Martinez in a moment. He's out at the stadium. But first, we head out to the Dodger Stadium Transportation Center, and that's where we will find Richard Turnage. Good evening, Richard.
Good evening to you, Bob. Hello, everybody. Well, it's a nice-sized crowd here at Dodger Stadium, and everybody leaving the facilities now in fine fashion. No problems reported on the exit lanes immediately surrounding Chavez Ravine. However, now, just outside the stadium on the 5 freeway, there is a problem spot, and this could affect you if you're leaving the stadium via the Golden State Gate. 5 southbound, just past the 110, an accident occurring there a little bit ago. Right shoulder activity, so a lane is not blocked, but investigators are there, and they could make for a little bit of crowding on the 5 south if you happen to be leaving, again, via the Golden State Gate. Watch out for that. Also, in Orange County on the 5 southbound past El Toro Road, a 4-car injury crash has been reported. Right shoulder activity there. And if you're traveling on the 405 as we speak, look out on the San Diego Freeway northbound past Bellflower Avenue. 3-car crash, and the CHP indicating 3rd lane from the center divider is blocked. KFWB Traffic is sponsored by Knott's Scary Farm. Face your worst nightmares tomorrow night at Knott's Halloween Haunt. And you can save up to $21 with a coupon from participating Burger King restaurants. Halloween Haunt tickets are on sale now at Knott's.com and at Ticketmaster. Next, KFWB Traffic on the ones at 10:11. I'm Richard Turnage, KFWB News 980.
KFWB Dodger Talk, sponsored by the new AT&T. Dial pound 980 from your AT&T phone to talk with Bob Harvey, and by CarMax, the way car buying should be.
Welcome to Dodger Talk on KFWB News 980. I'm Bob Harvey. A full hour tonight, so if we seemed a bit rushed last night, this is your opportunity to get in this evening and talk to us about Dodger baseball. And I realize this is a tough time of the year for Dodger fans. As Charlie mentioned a moment ago, the Dodgers guaranteed of a 4th-place finish. No better, no worse. I realize it's tough for Dodger fans right now, but talk about the future, if you like. Talk about what you've seen over the last 10 games. Where did it go wrong? What can the Dodger management do to make it right? Those are some of the topics we can talk about. And it's not any easier when you've visited with a guy for 158 games over the year like we have with A. Martinez. And, you can't ask the question every night, well, hey, how does it feel? Instead, you try to go a new creative way. So, hey, how's the family?
They're sleeping, I hope, because I wish I were sleeping right now.
Oh, I'm telling you, this has been really a brutal stretch.
Yeah, more brutal than anybody could have ever imagined. They came off of that homestand. They took 4 of 6, 2 of 3 from each of the teams that they played, San Diego and Arizona, and you're thinking, okay, that they have a chance here. And even after that first loss in Colorado, well, okay, sometimes you split a doubleheader, no big deal, get back on track. And then, boy, nothing's really gone right since then, with the exception of playing every young player against Arizona and getting a victory.
Absolutely. I would not be the one to accuse, the team of laying down because, that's not my job. That can only be determined by, the manager and the coaches and the players. But, boy, it just seems like the Dodgers' lack of effort has just been astounding.
Yeah, and maybe just their hearts aren't into it. And maybe after losing those first few games to Colorado, that spirit was broken right then and there. And then we haven't really seen it pop up at all, with the exception of that Sunday in Arizona. That more than likely is what's going on. And I know that players will never admit that, and no one ever wants to admit that that's in uniform, but look at the way they're playing. We have eyes. We can see. We can understand that every bit of expectation that came into this season was not met, and all of a sudden now you're seeing the disappointment spill out between the lines.
Well, Grady, too, a few days ago sounded as if he was determined to take the whip to the horse, get this team playing, make the other teams that are in the playoff race at least know that the Dodgers were not going to go quietly. They were going to give Colorado a tough time, but boy, that sure hasn't happened.
No, not at all. And we knew going into this week that the lineups were going to be very, very different than they have been for the most part with the personnel for most of the season. We knew that they were going to play a lot of young players. There were going to be a lot of interesting lineups that we never have seen before or never really would have imagined that we would see at any point this season. So going into this homestand, once the series in Arizona was over, once that road trip was over, we were expecting some different things to happen.
Right. By playing the young guys the rest of the week, they've already played 3 or 4 days before this. Dodger brass, do they get a fair assessment of what these young men are projected to do in the future?
Sure, a little bit. They're playing in big league games. Now, the big league games aren't as important or pressure-packed if the Dodgers were a little bit closer in the standings, so you don't get that kind of aspect. But, yeah, you get to see what they do, how they handle themselves, how they walk in and out of the clubhouse and on the field, and you see a lot of the professionalism there because it's real easy in these games not to care about much because there's nothing really to care about with the exception of just finishing the season as strong as possible.
Right. Looking at the production tonight from the young guys, Chen-Lung Hu, 0 for 4 tonight, but I think he's a good-looking player. I think he's got a real future with the Dodgers.
Yeah, he's a tremendous fielder, an acrobat out there with the glove, and showing some pop finally. What other prospect have we said this about? Wait till he shows some pop, and look what happens. James Loney has done the exact same thing in certain ways as Chen-Lung Hu. He's battled questions about his ability to hit the long ball all his career, and now all of a sudden it's coming to fruition. And the same thing with Chen-Lung Hu. He's always been a guy who can hit you a home run once in a while, but mostly he's going to be a guy who's going to earn his worth with the glove. But now all of a sudden that may be starting to come around as well.
Yeah, Delwyn Young, last night his first major league home run, tonight his first major league triple, 2 for 3, and there's no doubt about it, the guy can hit.
Yeah, and just finding a position. Where is he going to play? Maybe next year, if you're trying to project a little bit, if it's Kemp, Ethier, and Pierre, then Delwyn Young certainly has a great opportunity, not only just to be a bat off the bench because he's right-handed and left-handed, to switch hitter, but he can also play the outfield, and he came up as a second baseman, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he dusted off that glove just to make himself a little more valuable all the way around.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the Bill Plaschke article that was in the Times today, talking primarily about Matt Kemp and the fact that maybe the Dodgers, I don't want to use the word soured, but maybe Matt Kemp is a guy that could be a valuable trade piece come next season. I'm sure that was much of the talk out of the stadium today. How do you feel about it?
Anybody can be a valuable trade piece, especially any one of those kids, because even though they've had good starts, you never know what can happen. And that's one of the things that I'll give the Atlanta Braves a lot of credit for. Over the years, they always seem to know which prospects to trade away. You never hear of, or maybe right now at this moment I can't necessarily think of it, but if you think about the Atlanta Braves in the last 15 to 20 years, when have you ever heard that John Schuerholz was burned on a move he made when he gave up a prospect to acquire a veteran? I just don't remember it too much, but that's the key to their success every single year. They know which ones to deal, which ones to keep. The ones they kept, Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, and a bunch of other names that maybe they could have traded for at the time when they were young and valuable.
Well, some of the fans, and I'll include Bill Plaschke, in that group, are thinking maybe Matt Kemp could be bundled up with a couple of other players and used to bring in a marquee player, somebody in the age range of, say, 27 to 31, somewhere, somebody who can step right up, become the marquee player, and step into the lineup. And I was scratching my head trying to think, well, who would that be? And there was nobody that really jumped off the list at me. Everybody is talking A-Rod, but, that's going to be a big, hefty price tag if he even leaves New York.
There's so many different possibilities. If the Dodgers were in the mode to trade some of these kids, they could go after maybe Miguel Cabrera and Dontrell Willis. I've heard that they might be available on the trade block some way, somehow. So there's so many different combinations, and that's something that Ned Colletti is going to have to get together with his people to try and figure out if that's, number one, what they want to do, and if they do, well, what kind of a deal they can make where they don't have to necessarily give up too much.
Right. Frank Mccourt, the owner of the Dodgers, we haven't heard much from him the last last 3 weeks. I guess he'll probably have an announcement after the season, and certainly he's disappointed as we all are at how this season has turned out. Ned Colletti and Grady Little, their job's safe, do you suppose?
I think so. I think over the years, maybe this team has paid people to have vacations for a while. I don't think they want to do that anymore. So I think they're definitely going to get another opportunity, especially with the way it looks like the team is going to change, the composition of the team. They're going to get another opportunity to go out there. And number one, for Ned to get this offseason going, and maybe if he wants to package something to get a more veteran player in here, and not too veteran, but someone in that range that you're talking about, 27, 28, 29 years old. And then Grady will get another opportunity to go out there and see what he can do. Maybe if you get some more luck with injuries, not lose some starting pitchers that maybe you're going to need down the stretch, maybe things will be a little bit different, and maybe we'll have a better feeling about the 08 Dodgers.
All right, one final question, and I mean, it's easy to answer this just based on the record. Last year, the Dodgers got into the playoffs as the wild card team, although they actually were co-division winners with San Diego. This year, they don't make the playoffs. How big a step backwards is this for this franchise?
Well, I think you got to just take it year to year. I don't know necessarily. I mean, it's a disappointment, and I've been saying since since spring training, the way the team looked, I would have considered it a disaster if they didn't make the playoffs. Now, that's where everything kind of feels like right now because of this team's expectations heading into the season. And you don't factor in injuries, you don't factor in lack of execution and performance into those things because you kind of expect things to go your way when you're looking at a team, especially on paper in March and the early part of April. But it's not a step back because you look at these kids, they've performed. Matt Kemp, James Loney, Delwyn Young, even Chin Lung Hu, they've all performed. So definitely, and I know that maybe I'm being a little too optimistic here, but you look at their performance, they've executed. They look like they have something there, and if they maybe just commit to that youth movement a little sooner than expected, maybe that growth curve won't be as long.
Right, and you can look at the Rockies and look at the Diamondbacks as teams that started the youth movement. Look where they are right now. Both teams in very good shape for a playoff.
And it's not really a true youth movement. It's not like the Marlins when they had, 17, 18 rookies a couple of years, even last year. They had 17 rookies on opening day. A lot of these young players already have some Major League Baseball experience under their belt, so it's not like you're committing to just a bunch of 19-year-olds. You've got some real track records here. At least they're not big track records, but there's something heading into 08. So I think really honestly that the Dodgers in 08, depending on what they do and depending on the pieces they add, should be okay.
All right. Well, it looks like maybe it's time to pass the baton from the vets to the younger players, and of course a long off season to see what the Dodgers do. And of course, we still have 4 more visits with A. Martinez on Dodger Talk. I thank you for your time, and we'll chat with you tomorrow right before covering the bases on KFWB. KFWB News Time. 10:11, back out to Dodger Stadium we go, this time to the Transportation Center, and here's Richard Turnage.
Thank you again, Bob, and thanks to the good work of traffic manager Arnold Douglas and our parking guru Anthony Squio. We're looking good on the stadium grounds here. All of the exit lanes are clear here at Dodger Stadium, but just outside the stadium on the freeway, 5 southbound, just past the 110, an accident a little bit earlier. Told you about that last report. That is still being investigated on the right shoulder. So if you're still here and leaving via the Golden State Gate and you're taking that 5 southbound, look out for that little fender bender on the right side. Could be a little bit of a log jam. 405 northbound past Bellflower Avenue a little bit earlier, a 3-car accident. At last check, 3rd lane from the center divider, blocked there. And 10 freeway eastbound at Crenshaw. We're just getting word of an accident. Looks like it may be a pretty bad one. A car and a motorcycle, middle traffic lane blocked. Heads up if you're heading that way. 10 east near Crenshaw. Next, KFWB traffic on the ones at 10:21. I'm Richard Turnage, KFWB News 980.
This 3-game series between the Colorado Rockies and the Los Angeles Dodgers is sponsored by the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Croton, crafting fine watches since 1878. Visit them online at CrotonWatch.com. Croton watches can be found on the wrists of baseball players and at Big 5 sporting goods stores. For other retailers, call 800-443-7639.
Feel like a rock star with LasVegasTickets.com. Best seat to any event, championship boxing, or the greatest shows, LasVegasTickets.com has you covered. LasVegasTickets.com. They always come through in the clutch.
Pump 4 is on. Go ahead and fill.
Don't get conservative on your summer travel plans because of high gas prices. Just get a Garmin and make every trip more efficient. Garmin's portable navigators put a world of maps and travel info at your fingertips. Tap the screen to look up restaurants, hotels, and attractions, and get voice-prompted directions.
Turn right on Broadway.
Some Garmin navigators even list gas prices and can route you to the station with the cheapest fill-up. Garmin, don't just get there, arrive.
Just imagine what you can accomplish today. You can start your own company. You can paint a portrait, or cook a gourmet meal, or just be yourself. Every day, we're free to accomplish all kinds of fascinating things. And for generations, the people of Citgo have been providing energy for our achievements, big and small. With access to the largest crude reserves in the Western Hemisphere, the people of Citgo are here to help fuel our way of life. Citgo, there at every turn.
You might not ever be able to hit for the cycle, but if you remember to recycle your car's used motor oil and oil filter every time you change them, you'll be helping your hometown and our environment just as much. Visit one of the county's free weekend collection events or check with your local auto parts stores on how you can drop off your used motor oil and filters for recycling for free. To learn more, call 1-888-CLEAN-LA or visit 888-CLEANLA.com. Brought to you by the County of Los Angeles and funded by a grant from the California Integrated Waste Management Board. Zero waste. You make it happen. Certain restrictions may apply. First payment due at signing.
If you're driving while listening to this message, you either have auto insurance or you need auto insurance. The problem is, you're probably paying too much. Freeway Insurance has rates as low as $29 per month. How much are you overpaying? Call now for a free quote at 877-957-5050 and get the lowest rate. That's 877-957-5050. Plus, KFWB listeners can start with no down payment. That's right, no down payment. Freeway Insurance has been a leader in California for more than 20 years. Freeway has the lowest rates for any driver. If you're a good driver, Freeway has the lowest rates. If you have tickets or accidents or need an SR22, Freeway has the lowest rates. Call today and get started with no down payment. Call Freeway Insurance at 877-957-5050. That's 877-957-5050. Rates as low as $29. Call 877-957-5050. Freeway. It's that thing you're speeding on.
KFWB Dodger Talk, sponsored by the new AT&T and by Hooters Hotel Las Vegas. Sleep with someone you know. Book your room online or call 866-LV-HOOTS. Nissan of downtown LA, where the customer is always number one.
Welcome back to Dodger Talk on KFWB News 980. I'm Bob Harvey, and I wish the news were better, but the Dodgers lose again tonight to the Rockies by a score of 2-0. Colorado 2-5-0. The Dodgers 0-8-0. Josh Fogg, the winner. He's 10-9. Derek Lowe, the loser. He's 12-14. Dodgers have played 158 games. They've got 4 games left, and they need to win at least one of them to ensure a break-even 500 season. A full bank of calls. If you're getting a busy signal now, hang in there. Keep trying. We'll get to you. And let's start out with Danny out in Lawndale. Danny, welcome to Dodger Talk. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. How you doing, Bob?
Good, thank you.
I was calling because I can't believe the garbage that's coming out of the LA Times nowadays. I can't believe T.J. Simers and Bill Plaschke keep blaming the young player for what's going on. Why is everyone so scared to blame Grady for the moves? Last night, for example, why will you bring Mark Hendrickson and Roberto Hernandez to blow the game? You knew it was happening. You knew they were going to blow the game. Why? And he makes moves like this all year long. Why? Are they blind? Can they see what's going on?
It's, and I agree with you. And I've said this all year. I just, I question Grady on so much, but I wonder sometimes if he's watching the same game that you and I are.
I mean, why can management not see? I mean, I can't comprehend. I mean, the logic and the moves of Grady Little, I can't understand. And also, he's talking about he understands the fans' frustrations. No, you don't. If you would understand all of the frustration, Grady Little would have been fired a long time ago.
Well, and you know what? I got to hold Ned accountable too for these signings. I mean, particularly Jason Schmidt. I wasn't a fan of the signing. And you know, there were a lot of teams that shied away from Jason Schmidt, didn't want to sign him because of his history of arm trouble, but Ned did because of their history back in San Francisco, and that one really backfired. And I think kind of set the tone for what we're looking at now. Down to the final 4 games, and the team goes out on the field right now and just kind of going through the motion.
I just can't understand how can they seriously bring this guy back Grady next season. I cannot understand. And for the love of God, they can't see what's going on. Are they blind? Why can they not write an article about this coach and the moves that he has made? I can't understand it.
Well, and here's what they're going to say about Grady. That is, well, he had a lot of injuries to deal with, and is trying to mix the youngsters and the veterans together, and so let's give him another year and see what happens. But, that's bunk. That is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's the one that's made so many moves that last night, I can't understand the logic in some of the moves he made.
Well, we were talking about this last night, that you bring Roberto Hernandez into a tight game. It was still, a 1 or 2 run game in the 9th inning, and Hernandez gives up 2 runs, and then Young hits the home run, and you end up losing it in a game that possibly Young's home run would have tied it.
Henderson and Roberto Hernandez don't have anything left. I'm sorry, they don't. And this, for some reason, bring somebody out. For some reason, he keeps throwing them out there.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps why? I can't understand why.
Well, Danny, I
can see it. The fans can see it, and the management's supposed to know more than we do.
Well,
and yet I feel like they can't understand. They can't. They're like they have a blind eye, or someone's in love with Grady.
And if it helps you at all, Danny, when it comes to Grady, there's a lot of Dodger fans that feel exactly like you do, and the frustration level has mounted, but it's never been higher than it is right now, because it just seems like, when it really counted, he couldn't keep that clubhouse together. The veterans were fighting, the young players were fighting with the veterans, and things weren't getting taken care of on the clubhouse or on the field, and as a result, you've got a Dodger team that is guaranteed of finishing in 4th place. And this is with the 3rd or 4th highest payroll in baseball?
Yeah, I can't even. And then Jeff Kent is saying all those comments. You know what? Jeff Kent is not. He's not a very good player, and he hasn't been for all his 16-year career. And then he's talking about the young players playing. Where was Jeff Kent when we needed his bat in the lineup?
Right.
The game against Colorado. Why did he not play? Why?
Probably Why? Grady's decision.
Well, so what? He's a 16-year-old veteran, right? I'm sure he can say, no, you know what? I need to play. Well, we need our bat in the lineup, right?
Danny, I got to jump in here. We have to go to traffic, but I want to thank you for your passionate call, and I want to hear from other Dodger fans to see if you feel the same way Danny does. Is it the manager? Is it management? Is it the players? Would a combination of veterans and young players work if you had different veterans or if you had different young players? It's very frustrating because, as I said earlier this year, this was a Dodger team that I didn't think had a real clear identity. They didn't have a blueprint on how they wanted things to go. So as a result, you got a little bit of this, you got a little bit of that. And now maybe a youth movement, maybe not a youth movement. So, like I've said, make a plan, stick to it, and the fans will back you if they know what the plan is and if you're leveling with them. But if it's we're going to change it here, we're going to change it midstream, it's not going to fly, I don't think, with too many Dodger fans. KFWB News Time. 10:21, time for traffic on the ones, and here again, Richard Turnage.
Starting with the Golden State Freeway, 5 southbound past the 110, where a crash occurred a little bit earlier. 3 cars in that accident. Over on the right shoulder, lanes not blocked, but we are getting indications that traffic is still a little bit bottled up on the southbound 5, approaching that if you're one of the last few cars leaving the Dodger Stadium parking lot right now. You could come upon that scene. 5 south past the 110. Very serious accident, 405 northbound past Bellflower, sorry to say. That's a 3-car crash. We just got an update on that. CHP has been tending to that for a little bit, and they're saying now that the 2 right lanes are blocked. Look for a log jam here, 405 northbound near Bellflower. And 10 eastbound near Crenshaw Boulevard, an accident. At last check, middle traffic lane blocked. Be careful there. KFWB Traffic is sponsored by your Southern California Volvo dealers. Lease a 7-passenger third-row 08 Volvo XC90 for $399 a month, 24 months. Just $38.69 due at signing. Taxes, title, and fees are extra. Ends October 1st. Visit SoCalVolvoDealers.com for all the details. Next, KFWB traffic on the ones coming up at 10:31. I'm Richard Turnage, KFWB News 980.
If you're in a collision, OnStar receives a signal and can call to check on you to see if you need help.
OnStar Emergency, this is Anthony. Hello, can anyone in the vehicle hear me?
I have a baby in the car, and he's 4 days old.
Have you on Sally? I will be contacting the police.
The OnStar advisor can relay critical information, like where you were hit and the severity of the crash, to emergency responders so they can better treat you.
Police. Yes, this is Anthony. I'm with OnStar. I'd like to report a vehicle crash with airbag deployment. There was moaning, and she's worried about her baby.
What's happening?
I've had an accident.
Are you injured?
I'm shaken.
Okay, hang on tight. We'll get you help.
Advanced automatic crash notification is one of over 10 OnStar services included on most new Chevy vehicles. You won't find OnStar on Toyota, Honda, or Ford.
Police on the scene?
Yes, the police are here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
To learn more, press your blue button or visit OnStar.com. OnStar, active.
If your industry's changing and you're looking for ways to earn more money, then listen.
Hi, my name is Jeff Giammalva. I'm the father of 2 girls ages 16 and 13 and been married for 20 years. As a corporate exec for a Fortune 500 company, I found myself working 14 hours a day and was under tremendous pressure. And although I made a 6-figure income, had to ask myself at what cost. With corporate downsizing constantly over my head, I knew I needed to make a change. But with no extra time, had no idea what to do. That's when we found Global Wellness Group. We plugged into their system and leveraged their time. And our first year made $55,000. Today, we own our own business and have a quality of life with money and time.
Global Wellness Group wants to speak with success-oriented people that want more out of life. If you're looking to make a change, call Global Wellness Group at 888-590-3179. That's 888-590-3179. 888-590-3179.
Have you ever looked at the view from the top of a bridge? To position yourself squarely between here and there, point A and point B, the place realized, and the potential ahead. At East West Bank, that's where we live every day, helping our business clients across the divide from what is known to what is possible. Our experience in California's business communities and beyond to Greater China gives us a business perspective and flexibility not found elsewhere. At East West Bank, our goal is to act as your financial bridge to wherever you want to go, to take you from good to great. To get there, we will tailor a plan for your success. You'll receive the attention of senior management who will work to understand your business, going beyond the expected to deliver outstanding results. At East West Bank, we want you to look at the view from where you are and know you can achieve your goals with us. East West Bank, your financial bridge. Member FDIC.
KFWB Dodger Talk is sponsored by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The LA County Sheriffs are hiring. Call 1-800-A-DEPUTY or visit LASD.org. Jiffy Lube, the well-oiled machine, and by your Southern California Cadillac dealer.
Thank you for joining us tonight on Dodger Talk on KFWB News 980. I'm Bob Harvey. 4 games left to play in the regular season, and the Dodgers can start making plans for 2008. They fall tonight to the Rockies by a score of 2-0. Back to the phones we go, and next up is Jeff, who was out at the stadium tonight. Jeff, welcome to Dodger Talk. Nice to have you on board.
Thanks, Bob. I just wanted to thank you for doing a great show. You're one of the best things about this season, about being able to get some good input and ideas about, how to vent for the frustration for people like Danny and myself. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. It does. I've gotten some nice comments this year, and yours means very much to me. So what do you think? What are they going to do?
Well, I'd like to piggyback for 2 seconds on Danny and not get too crazy about Grady, but to give you a perfect example of what frustrations we have as fans is 2 outs, 2 on, bottom 9, and you run Matt Kemp for Olmedo and let Pierre hit, and at that point Pierre had grounded back to the box, gone into a 6-4-3, and then hit 2 ground balls to second base. 0 for 4 and hadn't gotten the ball out of the infield.
Right.
So what are you expecting Pierre to do, who's got no home runs and 37 RBIs all year?
Well, yeah, you're at best you're going to get a slap single to the outfield, or maybe an infield single. But at that point, you need somebody who's going to hit the ball over the fence.
And that's what That's what my friend and I were at the game, and we're like, how come Kemp's not hitting? How come And then a prime situation as well was the inning before with LaRoche up with 2 outs, and you've got you got Nomar, you got Kemp, you got Kent, you have all these guys, and then you can just switch them into the position that Roach plays, which Nomar does play.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't understand the logic, and that's kind of what's frustrating to me is I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm knowledgeable about the game, and obviously there's different philosophies on how to run and manage your team.
Right.
But I seriously have trouble coming up with any type of rational concept on why Grady does certain things. And to be honest with you, I feel without a doubt any true Dodger fan that has gone to games and watched it consistently, like me and my friends who are season ticket holders, like Will, I just think that you're looking at a 10-game difference at least with a different manager. I think that is the key component to the dismay that we all feel, and we're being in a comedic sense, we're being belittled.
Yeah, and the thing is too that the first couple of months you kind of let players and managers slide because you as a fan you're sort of feeling out, well, how's this manager doing things? But when the same mistakes keep being made game after game after game, you kind of reach a point where you say, what does management see that I'm not seeing?
Well, it's a situation where we get outmanaged in games. Obviously, there's nothing Grady can do about a player's performance or mental mistakes in situations like that are physical actions done by a player.
Right.
Or the blowout games that you can't control the 9 spot that somebody puts up in the third inning. However, it's the games that the integral thinking, the chess match that exists between managers that makes the game great, and Grady is not very intelligent in that area, in my opinion, and he's also not a National League manager. He keeps waiting for that 3-run home run that we never hit.
Right. Well,
and it's never ending. Every single game, I second guess 5 to 10 decisions that he does. And I want to ask you, do you think, in your experience as a baseball man, are people obviously are very disgruntled towards their team losing, so they're looking to blame somebody? And do you think that this happens in other cities to such lengths that where people are just so frustrated with the manager like we are?
Well, you know what? I would obviously I haven't been to any other major league cities as a broadcaster except for Los Angeles, but I have to say this, that I don't recall ever, even as a listener to Dodger Talk, ever hearing fans have as many constant complaints about a manager as they have with Grady, game in and game out.
It's amazing, but I'll let you get to the next call. Again,
right.
I just want to say thank you for all your hard work and effort and knowledge towards the game, and I look forward to listening to you next season because I'm not going to any more games because I'm too tired of watching them lose.
I hear you. All right, Jeff, thanks for the call. And, Jeff, great comments, and thank you, too, for the nice words as well. This is, like I said, this has got to be the toughest stretch of the year for a baseball team. You're out of it. You've had dissension in the clubhouse. You've got fans unhappy with the manager and management, and it's just not going to get really a whole lot better with one more with the Rockies and 3 against the Giants because the Giants series is kind of a who cares. Barry Bonds isn't going to play. Not that Dodger fans would be all that, excited to see him anyway. So this is a tough time. This is the place to vent. You got a comment, you want to let it out, then let's do it here, all right? KFWB News Time. 10:31, that is time for traffic on the ones, and here again, Richard Turnage.
Thank you, Bob. 405 freeway northbound past Bellflower, 3-car crash a little bit earlier. It is still taking up the 2 right lanes according to CHP. They're hoping to clear that off the road sometime soon. In the meantime, heads up, please. That's 405 on the northbound side past Bellflower. With those lanes reduced, could see a little bit of a slow go in the immediate area. Just reported a connector problem. 91 eastbound transition to the 605 northbound. This is an accident that unfortunately started with a stall. They're reporting that a car had conked out, and the driver of this vehicle apparently got outside the car and was trying to get over to the shoulder and may have been struck by another car. So this connector could be closed for a while as CHP and paramedics respond. 91 east to the 605 north. Please be very careful if you're out that way. Next, KFWB traffic on the ones at 1041. I'm Richard Turnage, KFWB News 980.
KFWB News Time, 10:32. Top stories. Prosecutors say they will seek to retry Phil Spector. A mistrial was declared today in Spector's murder case, and the jury reported it was deadlocked 10-2 in favor of convicting him of killing actress Lana Clarkson. Hundreds of national civil rights groups, lawmakers, and teachers have submitted legal briefs to the California Supreme Court in support of gay couples who are seeking to overturn state laws prohibiting same-sex marriage. California, one of 3 states in the nation where marriage laws are facing that legal challenge. A federal judge in Oregon ruling that 2 provisions of the Patriot Act are unconstitutional because they allow search warrants to be issued without a showing of probable cause. A Portland attorney sought that ruling in a lawsuit against the federal government after he was mistakenly linked by the FBI to the 2004 Madrid train bombings. President Bush and Congress appear to be headed toward a confrontation on Iraq war spending. Pentagon says it needs nearly $190 billion for another year of battle. But Senator Robert Byrd, who's chairman of the Appropriations Committee, has vowed not to, quote, rubber stamp that request. And the leading Democrats say they can't make any promises about pulling U.S. combat troops out of Iraq by the end of the next presidential term in 2013. They took part in a Democratic presidential debate today in New Hampshire. There's more Dodger Talk with Bob Harvey coming right up. I'm Tammy Trujillo, KFWB News 980.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? I'm Jim O'Connor, independent life insurance agent specializing in term life insurance. There's been a price war between the major life insurance companies. If you've had your term life policy more than 2 years, you may be paying too much. For example, a male age 45 non-tobacco user issue preferred best, $1 million of coverage is only $56 a month guaranteed level for 10 years. Or a male age 50 non-tobacco user issue preferred best, $500,000 of coverage is only $91 a month guaranteed level for 20 years. The life insurance industry is going through exciting changes. Make sure you're not paying too much for your term insurance. For new or replacement term life insurance, call for a free quote. 800-799-0903. That's 800-799-0903. Don't pay too much for your term insurance. Call 800-799-0903 or visit my website at term22.com. That's term22.com. Rates based on standard underwriting and may vary by state.
The following is a paid commercial message.
David Bach's Finish Rich Minute is brought to you by Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, a division of Wells Fargo Bank N.A., equal housing lender and founding sponsor of the Great American Homeowner Challenge.
Hi, this is David Bach. In many areas right now, homes are both taking longer to sell and they're selling for less money. According to the National Association of Realtors, sellers assisted by an agent get a price for their home that's 16% higher than those selling on their own. Realtors offer their service and expertise for about a 6% commission of the sales price. In this market, they have to work hard to make that sale, yet their fee is often negotiable. My tip today, sell your home quickly and for a better price. Visit Realtor.com to find a professional in your area. I'm David Bach. For more tips on smart home ownership, read my #1 bestseller, The Automatic Millionaire Homeowner, and visit davidbach.com.
Get free home buying guides for first homes, second homes, or investment properties by visiting davidbach.com. That's davidbach.com. Wells Fargo Home Mortgage is America's first choice in home financing.
KFWB Dodger Talk is sponsored by Power Toyota Cerritos. On the driver's side, Motel 6. For the lowest rate of any national chain, call 1-800-4-MOTEL-6. And Carino's Italian Grill. Visit Carinos.com for locations near you. Carinos, not your garden variety Italian.
Hey, Wednesday night edition of Dodger Talk on KFWB News 980. I'm Bob Harvey. The Rockies win it tonight 2-0, spoiling a splendid effort by Derek Lowe, who went 7 innings, allowed just 2 runs. But Josh Fogg a little bit better tonight. Fogg now 10-9, Lowe 12-14. And the Dodgers at 80 wins, 78 losses, 4 games left, so they're going to have to win at least one of the next 4 to break even, go 500 on the year. The Dodgers, by the way, have lost 9 of their last 10. The Rockies with a franchise-best 10-game winning streak. And back to the phones we go. It's Jeff from Tarzana. Now, before you start, Jeff.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm good. You want me to compliment you, or do you want to compliment yourself?
Pardon me?
I said, before we start, do you want me to give you props, or would you rather give yourself props?
For what?
Early in the year, you said fourth place.
Oh, no, Bob. You know what, Bob? To be honest with you, I knew they weren't going to be that good. It wasn't because of the talent of the Dodgers. It was because of Grady Little and Ned Coletti. I think the Dodgers have some talent. I mean, I don't think they're the best team in the West. The fact is that I said this team would win about 82 to 84 games, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Dodgers can win 82 games. But here's the deal, Bob. If Randy Wolf and Jason Schmidt were that good, would other teams let them go?
Well, that was the point I made earlier. Look how many teams dropped out of the bidding for Jason Schmidt just because they worried about the arm problem.
Right, exactly. The fact is, they're not like the Indian organization that raises, players throughout their organization, except for like Grady Sizemore. The Dodgers are built where you could possibly make a trade because you're spending all this money. It wasn't that Ned Coletti didn't try, but the fact is he didn't spend his money wisely. Would you agree? Would you agree with me on that?
Absolutely, 110%.
Okay. The fact is, if you have to trade Matt Kemp to get somebody good, then you make the trade. But you know what? They're not going to win with the power hitters that they have in their lineup. One guy is not going to lead a team to victory. I was looking over the Braves, and obviously the Braves didn't make the playoffs for the second straight year. But they have a potential, Bob, to have 5 guys drive in 100 runs this year.
Right.
I mean, you have to have pitching, but you have to have somewhat of hitting. And you know what? Grady Little could manage in Boston, and he doesn't play small ball. When you're not going to score a lot of runs via the home run, wouldn't it make sense that the Dodgers would have had more sacrifices or more bunt hits that they had this year?
Well, considering who they had at the top of the lineup, yes. I mean, the whole Juan Pierre argument was, okay, we know he's got a bad throwing arm. Okay, we know he's not going to throw runners out. But his game is getting on base, 200 hits, stealing a lot of bases. Well, he stole 61 bases. He'll probably end up with 200 hits, but I still don't think he's the answer in center field.
I agree with you. Wouldn't you look at Juan Pierre and say he's more of an American League player?
Yeah, he's more like a less versatile Sean Figgins, maybe, that type player.
Yeah, I agree with you. Bob, here's the thing, and I'm not saying this because I'm anti-Dodger. I'm just trying to be fair. If you know one thing about Jeff Tarzana, he always looks at things the way they are, not the way he wants them to be. Like the Indians are going to be in the playoffs, but you know what? Scares the hell out of me. They have to play the Yankees. I know they can beat the Red Sox. I know they can beat the Angels, but they're 0-6 against the Yankees. Realistically, you said, Jeff, do you think the Indians can, get by the first round? I would probably say no. The fact is, with the Dodgers the way they are now, wouldn't you think it would be smart to make a trade for a hitter?
Well, see, this is I go back to, what I said a few minutes ago. I mean, I don't know what direction the organization should go into or is going to. I mean, if you're going to bring in players, okay, let's say bring in a couple of good hitters, all right, and you fill out this lineup. If Grady's still managing the way he managed this year, what good is that going to do?
Well, yeah, but the one thing that would be more positive, if Grady manages this, at least you would have more hitters that could possibly hit the ball out of the ballpark. I don't know where the Dodgers rank in terms of home runs, but it can't be anywhere near the top. Am I incorrect?
You would be correct if you said near the bottom.
Right. So at least if he was managing the same way, you wouldn't have to play small ball as much. And if you had a couple more power hitters, they could possibly cover up part of Grady Little's management. As far as I'm concerned, if you look at the way the Dodger pitching staff is, the way he managed for the Dodgers to have won 80 games this year, you could look at it and say they were lucky to win 80 games.
Right, but if there had been some other moves made by Grady, and I'm not a manager, I've never managed a day in my life, but some of them were so obvious, like the 5 fingers on your hand, that why didn't you do this, or why did you leave this pitcher in too long?
Well, you know what? You're absolutely right. Well, why do you have guys like Henderson and the other guy that gave up, Hernandez, on your team when their ERAs are both over 5?
Well, there you go. Jeff, I want you to do me a favor. Call me again before we wrap up the regular season.
Oh, I will, Bob. Because,
okay.
My knowledge of baseball is vast.
Mine is half vast, but be that as it may. Thank you, Jeff from Tarzana. All right. KFWB News Time is 10:41. That is time for traffic on the ones. Here is Richard Turnage.
Sorry, I didn't have a rim shot for you there.
Thank you.
That's a very good line. On the 5 freeway southbound past the 405 in the San Fernando Valley, an accident, and CHP is indicating that the left lane is blocked, occurring just a little bit ago. This is a new incident. Do watch out for it on in the San Fernando Valley, I should say, on the 5 freeway. Southbound again just before the 405 freeway. Also a connector problem, 91 eastbound. Connector to the 605 northbound. Injury crash here, and it looks like that transition road is going to be closed. And possibly a detour set up because of this accident, so beware. 91 east approaching the 605. 10 eastbound at Crenshaw. Just before Crenshaw, crash there, second lane from the divider blocked. And we are getting indications that traffic is backed up for a couple of miles on the eastbound 10 there. And 405 northbound past Bellflower, 3-car crash. 2 right lanes blocked for a time as they try to clear that. Traffic is slow approaching. KFWB Traffic is sponsored by Land Rover Encino, the #1 Land Rover dealer in the U.S. And they refuse to be undersold on all 2007 Range Rovers and Range Rover Sport vehicles in stock during their 2007 model clearance sale. Call 866-GO-ROVER for Land Rover Encino. That's 866-GO-ROVER. Next, KFWB Traffic on the Ones coming up at 10:51. I'm Richard Turnage, KFWB News 980.
Why is your honor go? So you're on a mission to meet a deadline and everything seems to be falling apart. How do you choose to handle it? A, do you have a meltdown and curse all the people that are trying to help you? B, throw your hands up in the air, forget the whole thing and complain that nothing is your fault? Or C, do you call Simply True Communications, your leading self-development network, and gather powerful life-changing tools through seminars, couple coaching, and much more? So go on, call 818-986-TRUE. Or visit simplytrue.com. Result? Becoming the real you. After all, the missing link to managing your mind is you.
Hi, this is Rick Monday, and I want to tell you about my friends at Nissan of Downtown L.A. I recently got my Murano from Nissan of Downtown L.A., and it is the place to go for your new Nissan. Nissan of Downtown L.A. is in hot pursuit of becoming the #1 Nissan store in L.A. and currently celebrating their bottom line model year-end sales event with extravagant savings on Nissan products, Altima, Versa, and Sentra. Also right now, Nissan of Downtown L.A. has rebates up to $5,000 on select new Nissan products, 0.9% APR financing, and no payments for 90 days. Nissan of Downtown L.A. is moving out all 2007 models in stock and drastically reducing pricing. So before you buy or lease a new Nissan, call Nissan of Downtown L.A. at 323-4NISSAN, located on the corner of Figueroa and Washington, just south of Staples Center. Call Nissan of Downtown L.A. today at 323-4NISSAN. That's 323-4NISSAN.
Hey, Tanya Roberts here, and I want to know, where are you going on your next romantic getaway? Well, how about 3 days and 2 nights in Las Vegas? And what about you don't pay a dime for it? That's right. Act like a high roller in Vegas and pay nothing for it. It's all part of our celebration of Vegas's newest 5-star resort, Tahiti Village. We want you to get out of Dodge, stir up a little romantic magic in the most exciting city on earth with a complimentary second honeymoon, all on Tahiti Village. Come on, you know you deserve it. You know you want it. Las Vegas is calling. So stop what you're doing and call this special toll-free number. Just call 866-38-GO-NOW. That's 866-38-GO-NOW. Oh, and there's a bonus. If you call right now, they're going to throw in tickets to a hot show right on the Strip. Can we say high roller treatment, baby? So call 866-38-GO-NOW. That's 866-38-GO-NOW. Call now.
We've always been big fans of great neighbors. Fred and Ethel Mertz, Mr. Rogers, the Rubbles, all excellent neighbors. At Trader Joe's, we've been working hard at being good neighbors since 1958. This is Dan Bain of Trader Joe's. Over the past 49 years, we've learned that being a neighborhood store means more than just being small and convenient. It also means getting to know our customers. But we don't think gathering information about people and punching it into computers to track their shopping patterns is the best way to get to know people. We prefer that good old-fashioned method of getting to know someone, the conversation. Trader Joe's stores are filled with energetic crew members eager to give you a helping hand, talk with you about their favorite hors d'oeuvres, or even help you discover your next favorite Trader Joe's product. Providing great products at outstanding values in a fun-friendly atmosphere, talking with our customers, being part of our communities. At Trader Joe's, we think that's just being neighborly. To find your neighborhood store, log on to TraderJoe's.com. Thanks for listening.
KFWB Dodger Talk is sponsored by the new AT&T Tapatio Hot Sauce. Tap into the taste of Tapatio. StubHub.com. Sold out, so what? To order your Dodger tickets today, visit StubHub.com or call 1-866-StubHub. And the California Earthquake Authority, who would like to remind you that every day is earthquake season in California. Are you prepared?
Well, the Dodgers again tonight unable to play the role of spoiler as they fall to the Rockies by a score of 2-0. Welcome back to Dodger Talk on KFWB News 980. I'm Bob Harvey, and our thanks to all of the callers tonight, especially those who have been on hold for quite a long time, including Sam from Sylmar. Sam, take your time. Welcome to Dodger Talk. We appreciate the call.
Bob, how's it going this evening for you?
It's going well. How about you, Sam?
Well, it's okay other than the Dodgers losing. And first of all, I want to thank you for being a fan and also for, just speaking your voice. I really appreciate that. It's refreshing.
Thank you.
And again, I want to give you your props on that.
All right. I appreciate that.
All right. A couple of things I just want to comment on this season, killers of this Dodger season, things that I've noticed from last season that carried over into this season. And one of the main important things that I observed was the impatience at the plate. Oh, my God. I mean, I could not believe it. I was screaming at the TV. I was screaming each time I was at the stadium. I'm a season ticket holder along with combined 40 friends and family members of mine. And, my God, I saw from last season this thing carry over into this season to where the Dodgers were swinging at the very first pitch, and they would not make the opposing pitchers pitch. I mean, come on, with that very, very ineffective hitting, very, very ineffective, especially for Call, being our number one guy batting up there. I mean, this guy, it seems like he had no patience whatsoever, and being overly aggressive. And, I mean, I appreciate his heart, and I appreciate the fact that, yeah, he wants to play hard, but, I mean, patience does have its place.
Well, Sam, we talked about this, too, quite a bit this year, that the Dodgers, I don't have stats on how they stack up against other teams when it comes to working the count, but I didn't think the Dodgers did a very good job at all this year of working the count, of making the pitcher, throw a few more pitches.
Well, yeah, and if you can remember, again, last season, that was the same problem. I mean, just the batting, my God, it was just swinging at every pitch. And, again, making the opposing pitcher pitch, you want to wear that pitcher down so that way you can go ahead and obviously get your runs in. Again, aside from that, playing too much catch-up ball. I mean, I noticed that from last season into this season. The Dodgers were coming from behind and winning their games. That's great, but when I saw that, I'm like, this is the same thing I saw last season. They're going to wind up third or fourth, and I was right. With that said, Bob, I only went to 20 games this season, and you know what? Come tonight, 20 of my friends went tonight to tonight's game, and we all agreed that if the Dodgers lost today, we were not going to go back next year. We're not going to go back. I don't see the point. And going to a new stadium or some, from what Mr. Mccourt is saying, he's going to do some renovations of the stadium. But what good is renovating the stadium if we're going to have a losing team? I mean, that doesn't make sense. I mean, if anything, a businessman wants to invest in a winning team. I mean, I'd rather see a winning team in a bum stadium than to go to a beautiful stadium, all nice and pretty and dandy or what have you.
Right.
Only to look at a bunch of losers. It doesn't make sense.
Well, Sam, your frustration, I'm sure, is shared by many Dodger fans, and I thank you for sharing it with us. And again, thank you for the kind words. And if you get a chance before the end of the season, give us a ring back, okay, so we can at least put the lid on 2007. All right.
You got it, Bob.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. KFWB News Time. 10:51, time for traffic on the ones, and here's Richard Turnage.
On the 405 freeway, northbound, just past Bellflower Boulevard, a crash earlier with 3 cars. 2 right lanes blocked for a time. Looks like that may be clearing up shortly, but they have yet to give us the all clear. If it's not out of the way soon, you could see a backup here for a little bit longer. 405 north near Bellflower. 10 freeway eastbound near Crenshaw crash. Middle lane blocked as they try to clear that off the road. And a little bit of a slowdown. In fact, it's stacked up for at least a mile or so, even at this late hour, on the eastbound side of the San Bernardino Freeway. Connector accident, 91 eastbound to the 605 northbound. That ramp closed down because of a crash. And 5 southbound just before the 405 in the San Fernando Valley. An accident, and the left lane reportedly blocked. Be extra careful. Next, KFWB traffic on the ones at 11:01. I'm Richard Turnage, KFWB News 980.
Be right there. Wow, Jen, did you get new floors? They look amazing.
Yes, we purchased them at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring and had them installed last week.
I'd love beautiful new floors, but they're too expensive.
Beth, have you heard of Hernandez Wholesale Flooring? They're a family-owned wholesale distributor selling carpeting and flooring to major retailers and recently started selling to the public. We bought the hardwood floors manufactured by Max Windsor, 30% below retail, and they offer a 25-year warranty that under normal household usage, the finish will not peel or wear through.
With those savings, I can afford beautiful Max Windsor hardwood floors, too. Where do I find Hernandez Wholesale Flooring?
Hernandez Wholesale Flooring is conveniently located off the 5 freeway at 6601 Telegraph Road in Commerce. Call 1-323-838-5450 for directions. For unbeatable prices, service, and selection, go see those crazy Hernandez brothers today at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. For directions, call 1-323-838-5450 for Hernandez Wholesale Flooring.
There's no better way to study the world's best golf swings than to watch them side by side on the range. Move down the line from Arnold Palmer to Fred Couples to Phil Mickelson, and you notice not just the differences, but the similarities, like their wonderful balance, rhythm, and timing. And if you look closely as they leave, you'll notice something else they have in common. The same timepiece, a Rolex Day-Date. Available in 18-karat white or yellow gold or platinum, the Day-Date is put through 15 days and nights of the most grueling testing before it ever leaves Geneva. That ensures that, like these great golfers, it will perform as well in the real world as it does in practice. To see a complete selection of Rolex timepieces, visit your official Rolex jeweler.
See what a new watch can say about you at Tourneau, the world's largest watch store since 1900. Tourneau at Century City Shopping Center, Los Angeles, and South Coast Plaza, Costa Mesa.
This is troubleshooter Judd McIlvain. IWillFundYou.com is a company that has protected consumer rights for the past 12 years. If you are currently in the market for a legitimate home loan, you must contact IWillFundYou.com now. IWillFundYou.com has several millions of dollars to help finance homeowners who are wishing to refinance. IWillFundYou.com has been working with Wall Street investors and federal agencies to bring you the most aggressive rates for homeowners who are ready to make a decision. Federal agencies want to help you qualify today with instant interest rate locks and fast funding. IWillFundYou.com can fund your home loan now. Call or log on to IWillFundYou.com and don't be discouraged about the market conditions. IWillFundYou.com continues to aggressively fund home loans.
Licensed by the California Department of Real Estate. Subject to terms and conditions. Call IWillFundYou.com today at 877-595-FUND. That's 877-595-FUND. KFWB Dodger Talk is sponsored by Concord Law. Change your career path by just 1 degree. And Bank of America, the official bank of Major League Baseball. And by the County of Los Angeles, who reminds you to recycle your car's used motor oil and filter. Zero waste. You make it happen.
The Dodgers lose for the 9th time in 10 games, while the Colorado Rockies win a franchise-best 10 games in a row. The final tonight at the stadium, 2-0 in favor of Colorado. Derek Lowe pitched well, but nothing to show for it as his season finishes at 12-14. Time now for the Croton Trivia Contest, and pretty easy one tonight, I think. Who holds the L.A. Dodger record for highest batting average in a season? Now, be listening tomorrow morning during the 8 a.m. hour, and if you're the right caller with the right answer, you'll win a Croton watch. Croton crafting fine watches since 1878. Visit online at CrotonWatch.com, and for retailers, call 1-800-443-7639. Back to the phones, and our thanks to Mark and Encino for hanging on so long with us. Mark, welcome to Dodger Talk. Nice to have you on board.
Well, thank you, Bob. Thanks again for taking my call. I would also basically like to say that myself and other Dodger fans would like to thank you for the excellent job that you have done this season in providing us with an open and honest forum to express not only our opinions, but also our justifiable grievances as well.
Well, thank you for the comments, and that's the only way I would have it. As a fan to fan, you got to be able to speak your mind. You can't, hide it behind, the spin cycle. You got to get it out there. So I appreciate that.
You're quite welcome. And my comment is this: to get Alex Rodriguez, would the Dodgers need to trade for him, or could they just sign him as a free agent?
Sign him as a free agent. He can opt out of his Yankee contract after this year, which I'm certain he's going to do. And as Scott Boras, as his agent, no doubt will try to squeeze either a few more bucks out of the Yankees, or will, I'm sure, get a few more dollars somewhere else.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you do get Alex Rodriguez, I believe he'd solve a lot of problems. He'd provide leadership in the clubhouse, offensive power. He would more than pay for himself as far as selling out Dodger Stadium on a regular basis. And most importantly, the biggest thing of all is that he would take that bad taste that the Dodger fans have in our mouths about the second half of the season.
I agree. And, Mark, if A-Rod, that's a long shot, but if just picture this. If A-Rod came to L.A., he would own L.A. I mean, he would be to the Dodgers what Kobe is to the Lakers, what Wayne Gretzky used to be to the L.A. Kings. I mean, A-Rod would own this city. And right now he shares New York with, among others, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, probably the most popular Yankee of them all right now. But boy, A-Rod in L.A., can you just envision? I mean, he would instantly become the face of the franchise.
I completely agree. And one other quick little question. I do have complaints, as you know, about Ned Colletti and Grady Little. But what do you think about the job that Rick Honeycutt has done this season? Do you think he's partly, if not mainly, responsible for the...
He's only as good, I guess, as the players he's got to work with. He didn't have Schmidt for practically all the season. Lost Randy Wolf, midway through the season. So I don't know how much credit or blame you would give the pitching coach this year. I'd have to sit down and really think about that. We're back in a minute, by the way, to wrap up Dodger Talk.
Aflac for small business.
Yeah, you cover small business?
Yes, we do.
Great, because I'm an amoeba.
An amoeba?
Uh-oh, got to split.
Oh, bye.
No, I got to split in half. Us amoebas always growing.
Well, with Aflac for small business, you get a lot of the benefits of a big business at no direct cost to you while you're still growing.
Great, because here I go. Much better.
Well, you can both visit AflacSB.com or call 1-800-99-AFLAC. American Family Life Insurance Company of Columbus. Aflac.
What can you be sure of today? You can rest assured the sun will rise. Somebody will fall in love. Heroes will be born. And even from today, you can be sure of tomorrow. Just as reliably, you can depend on the people of Citgo. Because for decades, we've been delivering a steady, secure supply of Venezuelan oil that helps fuel our way of life, today and tomorrow. Citgo, there at every turn.
As always, thanks to just a great group of callers. We appreciate it. And thanks, to our KFWB Dodger Talk support team, A. Martinez, Josh Cumming, Brian Pickering, studio producer Joe Franciosi, traffic tonight from Richard Turnage, news provided by Tammy Trujillo. The Guru, Say Chavez, is at the editor's desk. I'm Bob Harvey. We'll see you tomorrow night after the Dodgers and Rockies right here on KFWB.
You've been listening to KFWB Dodger Talk with your host, Bob Harvey, on your home for news, traffic, Dodgers, KFWB.
Dodgers Radio, KFWB, FWB, FWB.